Hey there, Chelsea. So before I get started, and I'm going to answer your question, yes, I am going to read from this book, but you can find this information on the internet. You can do a search for the Declaration of Human Rights. There are 30 articles, 30 basic human rights that everyone should have. However, the adoption legal process takes away 15 of those. So yes, literally half. And I will read them article for article. This may be a couple of videos, so I apologize. That being said, before we get started, I think there was a lot of miscommunication between you, Laura, and myself. All right. So I think it started off with Laura was saying, right, that her half-brother was asking about being donor conceived. He didn't fully know, but he had thoughts or adoption, because something wasn't linking up through the DNA test. And he is obviously, he's my age, right? He should have known from a young age, okay? Because it's about trust, it's about access to information that can save lives, okay? And yes, I get it. As a parent, you would want to feel like you told, your child, he's an adult now, but I'm not trying to infantilize him, but my point is, you have the responsibility with that being your son or your daughter, right? The thing is that his parents failed that, right? So when you commented, it was based off that information, right? Because you said, I'm an adoptive parent and I would be upset. The thing is that so often adoptive parents who not only hold the majority of the power do exactly that. There are adoptees that go their entire lives and they find out in their 70s or their 80s maybe a little bit sooner, when their adoptive parents are on their deathbed. Okay? So it's a lot of problems, right? And adoptees deserve the same rights as someone who was biologically kept. Now, foster youth and adoptees face the same risks. I'm not going to go over this. I'm going to tag a bunch of videos so you can look through that, and I will tag a video with not only this book mentioned, but other books so that maybe you can read up on it. That being said, the rest of this video will be about the articles that adoption as a legal process violates. So starting off with, and by the way, you can find this reading on my YouTube channel, Adoptee Healing and Resources. So if you look for the chapter called Civil and Human Rights in Adoption, that's the one. All right, that being said, Article 1, which states all human beings are born free and equal dignity. All human beings are born free and equal dignity and rights. However, adoption law refers to the adoptee as an adopted child, even beyond legal age, and treats the adult adoptee as property since they are never permitted emancipation from their adoptive status, so may not exercise the same rights under the same conditions as non-adopted citizens, such as the right to access their true and unfalsified birth record from vital records offices. Article 2. Everyone is entitled to all rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Social status and religion, as well as politics, are inextricably woven into the fiber of the American adoption system, such as the National Council for Adoption, NCFA, upon whom government relies for adoption data, is sealed records lobby of a Christian adoption agency. Holt International's contractual agreements with prospective adopters include a written requirement that the child will be raised as Christian and worship Jesus Christ. Article 3. Everyone has the rights to life, liberty, and security of person. However, adoptees are not at liberty to access true information about their pre-adoption identities and their family's identities. They cannot have security of person, having been given or sold to strangers for adoption. In only 12 states can we access our unfalsified, aka our original birth certificates. In 19 states it is partially closed, and in 19 states it is fully closed. So even if you try to access in those 19 that are partially closed, they can, in fact, black out the important information, such as your biological family, your birth date, and your original name. And yeah, sometimes birth dates do change for adoptees. Okay, Article 4. No one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in their forms. However, in a free society, but in a free society, each person more or less holds title to their own human capital and is prevented by law from selling this title for limited periods of time. Examples would be athletes and movie stars under contract and under restriction of conditions. A dollar value was placed on human lives at various times in America. 1. When white Americans bought and sold black Africans for slaves. 2. When monetary damages are awarded in an industrial accident or death, turning on the capital value of the person at the time of accident or death. 3. When one contracts for one's labor. And 4. When a child is adopted. Article 5. No one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhumane, or degrading treatment or punishment. Closed adoption is regarded by activists as a form of child abuse because it prevents free exchange of information that may be vital to the child's well-being, such as family, medical updates, social background, and changes in circumstances. Now, I am going to add that 90% of open adoptions close by age 1 and 9 close by age 5. Even with an open adoption, it does not mean you have all the information that you need. And if your biological family has no contact with you, or, is dead for whatever reason, right? A lot of things can happen. I cannot, as an adoptee, go to vital records and request that medical information. I cannot go to the doctors. As a kept person, right, a non-adopted person can do that for their biological parents. And that is not a violation of HIPAA. Okay? I want to make that clear. Article 6. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. Adoption law in every state requires that adoptee's true birth record be sealed from their own and everyone else's access. Thus, the adoptee becomes a legal fiction. The child's parents also become non-existent as the parents before the law upon relinquishment of their parental rights. Article 7. All are equal before the law and are entitled without discrimination to equal protection of the law. Adoptees are treated as separate but equal. In violation of the United States Constitution's Bill of Rights and basic human rights, neither are rights applied to all adoptees equally. The courts have been clear in Brown v. Board of Education that separate but equal is unconstitutional. All right, we have a few more to go over, so come back for part 2. Because like I said, it's a lot.